Welcome to Shadowline News, your trusted source for accurate reporting and in-depth analysis from around the world. We bring you the stories that matter most, delivering facts with clarity and context. Here are today's top stories. In political developments, the United Kingdom government has unveiled an ambitious £725 billion infrastructure investment strategy spanning the next decade, marking one of the largest peacetime spending commitments in British history. The comprehensive plan allocates £9 billion annually to address critical repairs in public institutions, targeting deteriorating schools, hospitals, courts, and prisons that have faced significant maintenance backlogs. This massive investment comes as the UK grapples with aging public infrastructure that has increasingly impacted essential services, with some facilities deemed unsafe or inadequate for modern needs. The strategy represents a significant shift in government priorities, acknowledging the growing public concern over the state of vital institutions while aiming to boost economic growth through infrastructure spending. In a developing diplomatic situation, French Parliament member Pouria Amir Shahi has been denied entry to the United States, highlighting growing tensions in transatlantic relations. The leftist lawmaker had planned to conduct meetings with American counterparts to gain first-hand insight into the political landscape under the current administration. This unusual restriction on a democratically elected official from a key NATO ally raises questions about diplomatic protocols and potentially signals broader challenges in US-France relations. The incident has sparked debate in French political circles and could impact ongoing discussions on trade, security, and diplomatic cooperation between the two nations. Moving to environmental policy in Australia, the New South Wales government faces mounting pressure over funding allocations for the proposed Great Koala National Park, a project long promised to protect critical habitat for the endangered species. The state treasurer's cautious statements about making progress suggest financial constraints may be delaying this crucial conservation initiative, which scientists argue is essential for preventing local extinction of koala populations. The project's uncertain future reflects broader challenges in balancing environmental protection with budgetary limitations, particularly as habitat loss and climate change continue to threaten Australia's iconic wildlife. In Queensland, controversial changes to the Brisbane Olympics board composition requirements signal a significant shift in diversity policies. The state government's move to eliminate mandates for gender balance and Indigenous representation on the 2032 Olympics Organising Committee has sparked intense debate about commitment to inclusion and representation in major sporting events. This policy reversal contrasts sharply with international Olympic movement trends toward greater diversity and raises questions about the impact on Indigenous participation and women's leadership roles in what will be Australia's third Olympic Games. The decision could have far-reaching implications for future sporting event governance and Australia's international reputation in sports administration. Turning to international affairs, European leaders are preparing for critical talks with Iran amid escalating tensions across the Middle East. The diplomatic initiative comes as deep divisions emerge among EU member states regarding Israel's military conduct, with France and Germany taking notably different stances on the proportionality of recent Israeli operations. These high-stakes negotiations reflect growing international concern about the risk of a wider regional conflict, particularly as Iran continues to expand its influence through proxy forces across multiple countries. European diplomats are walking a delicate tightrope, attempting to maintain channels of communication with Tehran while simultaneously supporting their traditional alliance with Israel. The situation has grown more volatile following inflammatory remarks from Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz, who has called for direct action against Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei. Katz's unprecedented statement, accusing Khamenei of personally ordering attacks on medical facilities, marks a dangerous escalation in rhetoric between the two regional powers. The exchange of accusations follows a series of strikes on civilian infrastructure in both countries, raising fears of an uncontrolled spiral into full-scale war. Intelligence analysts warn that such provocative language could severely limit diplomatic options for de-escalation. Meanwhile, Palestinians in Gaza and the West Bank face intensifying military operations. International attention focuses on the Israel-Iran conflict. Israeli forces have significantly increased restrictions on movement throughout the occupied territories, with new checkpoints and security measures affecting daily life for millions of civilians. Reports indicate a sharp rise in settlement expansion and military presence in the West Bank, while Gaza continues to endure severe humanitarian challenges under ongoing operations. These developments suggest a concerning pattern of escalating tensions on multiple fronts in the region. In the Americas, Hurricane Eric has made landfall along Mexico's Pacific coast, bringing devastating winds and flooding to coastal communities in Oaxaca and Guerrero states. The storm, which approached as a powerful Category 4 hurricane before slightly weakening, has forced mass evacuations in vulnerable coastal areas. Mexican authorities have mobilized emergency response teams and military units to assist with evacuation efforts and prepare for potential rescue operations. The impact of this major hurricane threatens to overwhelm local infrastructure and emergency services, particularly in remote indigenous communities along the coast. Moving to economic and financial news, global markets remain focused on escalating tensions between Israel and Iran as European officials attempt to prevent further military escalation in the Middle East. European diplomatic efforts, while limited in scope, represent a crucial attempt to stabilize a region that's critical to global energy supplies and economic stability. The European Union's diplomatic initiatives come as both nations continue exchanging strikes, raising concerns about broader regional conflict that could disrupt major shipping routes and energy infrastructure. Financial analysts warn that prolonged uncertainty in the region could have ripple effects across global markets, particularly impacting European economies still grappling with inflation pressures. In East Africa, Kenya's political landscape faces mounting uncertainty as President William Ruto's stance on power transfer generates significant debate about the country's democratic trajectory. The situation reflects broader challenges in one of East Africa's largest economies, where political stability has long been viewed as a crucial factor for regional economic growth and foreign investment. Market observers note that political uncertainty in Kenya often has spillover effects on neighboring economies and trade relationships throughout the East African community. The developments are particularly significant, given Kenya's position as a major economic hub and its crucial role in regional trade agreements. The ongoing Middle East tensions are causing significant volatility in global oil markets, with crude prices experiencing notable fluctuations amid concerns about potential supply disruptions. Energy analysts point to the strategic importance of the Strait of Hormuz, through which approximately 20% of global oil supplies pass, as a critical factor in market sentiment. The price movements are particularly concerning for major economies still battling inflation, as higher energy costs typically feed into broader price increases across supply chains. Central banks are closely monitoring these developments as they navigate monetary policy decisions in an increasingly complex global environment. In workplace evolution news, Australia's productivity debate has sparked renewed discussion about the future of work arrangements and compensation models. The conversation, initiated by Treasurer Jim Chalmers, centers on how productivity gains could be distributed between reduced working hours and increased wages. Economic experts suggest that successful productivity improvements could offer flexibility in implementing either 3-day work weeks or substantial wage increases, representing a significant shift in traditional work paradigms. The debate reflects a global trend of reconsidering work, life balance, and compensation structures in advanced economies, with potential implications for international labor markets and economic competitiveness. In social and community developments, serious concerns have emerged regarding the integrity of expert testimony in family court proceedings after an investigation reveals psychologist Graham Flatman may have overstepped his professional boundaries in multiple cases spanning more than a decade. The investigation has identified at least 7 cases between 2013 and 2024, where Flatman potentially acted beyond his qualifications and expertise while serving as an expert witness, raising significant questions about the validity of court decisions that relied on his testimony. This revelation follows earlier findings that Flatman had misled the family court about his professional qualifications, a discovery that has prompted a broader examination of his involvement in sensitive family law matters. The implications of this case extend far beyond individual court decisions, as expert testimony often plays a crucial role in determining child custody arrangements, adoption proceedings, and other life-altering family court determinations. Legal experts are now calling for a comprehensive review of cases involving Flatman's testimony, while advocating stricter verification processes for expert witnesses in family court proceedings. The situation highlights a critical vulnerability in the judicial system, where the credibility of expert witnesses is often taken at face value, potentially affecting the lives of countless families who rely on the courts for fair and informed decisions. From the world of science and technology, a disturbing development has emerged in North London as police investigate the murder of 69-year-old Jennifer Abbott, who was discovered dead in her flat with tape covering her mouth. Investigators have taken a 66-year-old woman into custody on suspicion of murder, with particular attention being paid to a missing Rolex watch that may be connected to the stabbing. This case highlights growing concerns about crimes targeting vulnerable older adults in urban areas, with police noting an uptick in incidents involving valuable personal items. The investigation is shedding light on the critical importance of community vigilance and security measures for elderly residents living alone in metropolitan areas. In the ongoing saga of TikTok's presence in the United States, former President Donald Trump has issued an executive order extending the deadline for the Chinese-owned social media platform to find an American buyer. The app, which boasts 170 million users across the United States, has faced intense scrutiny over data security concerns and potential national security risks. This third reprieve reflects the complex balance between maintaining popular social media platforms and addressing legitimate security concerns about foreign-owned technology companies. The decision impacts not only TikTok's massive user base, but also carries significant implications for international technology regulations and U.S.-China relations. A troubling case of police conduct has emerged as 2 serving Metropolitan Police officers and 1 former officer face gross misconduct charges following an incident involving a 90-year-old woman with dementia. The elderly woman was subjected to the use of a taser, handcuffs, and a spit hood, raising serious questions about appropriate use of force and police training in handling vulnerable individuals. This case represents a critical examination of law enforcement protocols when dealing with elderly and mentally impaired individuals, while adding to ongoing discussions about police reform and accountability in the United Kingdom. In a significant setback for space exploration efforts, SpaceX's Starship 36 has experienced a catastrophic failure during ground testing at their Texas facility, resulting in a massive explosion captured on video. The incident marks another challenge in SpaceX's ambitious development program for what is intended to be the world's most powerful rocket system. This explosion underscores the inherent risks and complexities in pushing the boundaries of space technology, while also highlighting the importance of rigorous testing protocols in spacecraft development. The setback could potentially impact SpaceX's timeline for future missions and NASA's broader plans for lunar and Mars exploration. And in entertainment, law enforcement officials in Thika, Kenya, are intensifying their search for suspects in the tragic killing of a police officer, with authorities making an urgent appeal for public assistance. The officer, who was stationed at the Thika police station, was found deceased under suspicious circumstances, prompting a major investigation into what appears to be a targeted attack on law enforcement. Police officials believe members of the local community may hold crucial information that could help identify those responsible for this brazen assault on one of their own. The killing has heightened concerns about officer safety in the region and underscores the ongoing challenges faced by law enforcement personnel who put their lives on the line to maintain public security. In a disturbing case from London, a former university student has received a life sentence for committing a series of horrific sexual assaults that he filmed and documented. Zhu Jianhao, age 28, has been identified by Metropolitan Police as one of the most dangerous sexual predators they have encountered, with investigators confirming at least 10 victims, but suspecting the actual number may be significantly higher. The perpetrator's methodical documentation of his crimes has shocked veteran investigators and provided crucial evidence leading to his conviction. The case has sparked renewed discussions about campus safety protocols and the importance of supporting sexual assault survivors, while also highlighting the critical role of digital evidence in modern criminal investigations. In other significant news, a former Janus Henderson analyst faces serious consequences after being convicted of insider dealing and money laundering while working remotely during recent years. Redinil Corfuzi, along with his sister, exploited his position at the prominent investment firm to profit illegally from confidential market information, highlighting the growing challenges of maintaining compliance in remote work environments. The case underscores how financial institutions must adapt their oversight mechanisms as work from home arrangements become increasingly common in the investment sector. This conviction sends a strong message about regulatory authorities' commitment to pursuing financial crimes, regardless of whether they occur in traditional office settings or remote workspaces. Moving to developments in the Middle East, Iran has escalated regional tensions by launching a missile strike against a hospital in southern Israel, marking a significant intensification of the ongoing conflict between the two nations. The attack on civilian infrastructure represents a concerning shift in Iranian military strategy and raises serious questions about potential violations of international humanitarian law. Security analysts warn that targeting medical facilities could trigger a broader regional conflict, with implications for civilian populations throughout the Middle East. The international community now faces mounting pressure to intervene diplomatically as the risk of further escalation threatens stability across the region. Thank you for making Shadowline News part of your day. Until next time, stay informed and stay connected.